What's good, everybody? It's your gearhead, Mr. Logic, yo, and allow me to introduce you to my lovely co-host.
Hey guys, it's your girl Nate. Excusez-moi for my
It's been long, right?
I had no effort to put any effort today.
Make sure if this is your first time, man, you hit that like and subscribe button, yo. You already know what it is. And as you know, this is one thing for sure, two things for certain, baby. Let's go. So as you know, we carry on tradition, love. So how has your week been? How was Thanksgiving? Because we didn't record Thanksgiving because, you know, we were with the family.
Yeah.
So how was Thanksgiving and how's your week been going so far?
Oh my God, you guys. Let me tell you guys something. So Thanksgiving was amazing. Oh, all the food was delicious and the desserts. Mwah, 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 mwah. Absolutely delicioso. Bro, it has been, what has it been, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks since we last recorded or went live?
Yeah.
Bro, so I'm finally moving out of the house that I'm living at right now.
Whoop, whoop.
And
let's go.
you know, I like change. You know, I like to embrace change. I'm like, okay, new house. You know, it's like, first of all, my old house had like yellow walls and like the walls were red. I wasn't feeling the color. It was a rented place, so it's not like we can just.
So it's like new house, new me. Who's
oh my
this?
God, the new house, it has like white walls. I'm like, oh, God praise white walls.
Oh, so you just like white walls?
I mean, it's easy on the eyes.
But doesn't it stain easier? I mean,
Whatever.
if you have kids, it would, but you don't have kids.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, okay.
But it was good.
So,
But my room is definitely a lot smaller.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do because I have a big ass TV in my room and I have a big ass dresser, so I'm kind of in a predicament.
IKEA, you better get something new.
I know, but like my parents paid good money for my dressing room set, my like bedroom set at like Rooms to Go. So
sell it, flip it, get that money back, you know. And
do you want to buy it?
Fuck no. I already got enough shit from my apartment. I actually got to put my shit in storage.
No?
Ain't nobody.
Damn. You guys want to buy it?
Hell's nah. I don't know what you done on that thing, yo.
I haven't done anything on that thing. It's super cute. It's still
I
new.
know that's a lie. You're smiling and laughing. No, that's bad. Why would you sell something?
It's white, but the countertop and the finish is wood. Like a light wood. It's really pretty, you guys. So.
Okay. I mean, shit. Well, you put it out there. You got OfferUp. You got, well, I wouldn't say eBay, but OfferUp's probably your best chance. You always find that one
Yeah,
dude.
but who's going to pay? Those things go for what? Like, those dressers on Rooms to Go, how much do they go for?
If they're the real ones, like the old school ones, they're worth a couple grand because it's real wood. It ain't that cheap shit they use nowadays.
Let's just say $700.
Okay. I mean, I have a china at the crib, you know, those big ass ones that your mom doesn't let you use the plates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, I was like, yo, mom, get rid of it. How much you think it's worth? I look it up. Yeah, it's just worth like almost $8 grand. And the sad part is, I don't even know how the hell we got it in the house.
Bro.
I don't remember how we did it. I think we opened up the French doors or something, but I don't even, like, it's pointless.
And then how would you even go about selling it? Because it's like, who the fuck, like, I don't know. Like,
and everybody's going to lowball you. That's another thing.
Yes, that's the one thing that I don't like. It's like,
I'll trade you a sock. People are fucked up, yeah.
keep your crispy, dry sock away from me.
Oh. So how was your week?
You guys, let me be very honest. I had a terrible weekend.
Por qué?
Well, I mean, I was telling you earlier before we started recording this. Yeah, I'm not so great at reading labels. I kind of just, you know, if you kind of just offer me something and I trust you, I'll just be like, okay, I'll take it. Damn the consequences. So
Cry now, laugh later.
cry now, laugh later. Let's just say I spent a majority of my Sunday sleeping because I was so goddamn high on Saturday from eating an edible.
Oh, no bueno. Shit, how many did you eat? How strong was it?
Okay, so it was one gummy, and I'm pretty sure there was 2 gummies. 200. Yeah, there was 2 gummies in the little packet with that said like 500 milligrams. I'm assuming each one was 250.
You're wildin'. Did you see the afterlife? what the fuck? Listen,
bro.
edibles hit you harder in a way that, a blunt won't, man. Like, edibles will have you out of your body.
Dude,
Slump.
I always tell myself, oh my God, never again. Why do I keep lying to myself? Why do I keep doing this to myself? Because I've had multiple edibles throughout my adult life. And this isn't the first time that I'm experiencing. As a matter of fact,
it ain't the last time either.
Oh, you guys. Let me just tell you, I was going through, like, let's just say I'm sitting in this chair and I'm so high, got off my mind. I'm just like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is definitely gonna pass. Cause I already know the spiel. I already know the shit you go through. So I'm just like, okay, I'm at my peak. 10 minutes later, nope, this is my peak. 20 minutes later, I'm not even there yet, and it's progressively getting worse.
Roller coaster.
And then I see a sandwich, and I'm like, food, delicious. And then literally 30 minutes later, I'm like, puking.
That bad?
I always puke when I'm on edibles. It's like I seem to forget.
So why do you take them?
I don't know.
Peer pressure?
Duh.
Hell's nah, yo. No. I don't even like weed like that, yo. I'm sorry. I get paranoid as hell. Next thing you know, I start thinking stupid shit like, if there's 365 days out the year, how come my birthday is never on the same day? Like the same, like it's not like it's on Wednesday, next year will be on a Thursday. Like, why is it never on the same day?
February. February's a leap year, so every 4 years, sometimes there's like 2 extra days. So sometimes like.
Because it's like an odd number. I looked it up.
What do you mean?
Apparently, because 365 is an odd number, so that's why it moves
that
on
too.
to so I
if it was an even number, yeah.
And then the crazy thing is, when under the influence, you be thinking of the wildest things, the wildest things. Like, you ever really looked at your shadow when you're high?
Knowing me, I'd probably play tic-tac-toe with my shadow.
Oh, you be high on a different level.
I'd be like, hey, you're third.
Nah.
You're supposed to go there. Like,
I mean, I don't
on
know
some real
people.
shit.
Some people, like, some people just go way OD on it. They'll pop so many, and you're just, like, looking at them like, you're not scared to die? Like, I'm sorry. It's like when it hits you as waves, like, you think you're good, and then it's like...
Dude, the waves are killer.
I remember one time, so may my grandmother rest in peace, she had heart failure, so in Boston, they give cannabis. So... when she passed, I took all her stuff. So I have like it was a lotion that got you high.
No way.
Yeah. And it's like 1,000 milligrams. It's really good for like joints and shit. But it has a warning, will impair your ability to, operate machinery and whatnot. And then I had chocolates, but I didn't know how strong the chocolates were. They're 1,000 milligrams. I did not know that.
Oh my God.
So mind you, I get a haircut. So I'm freshly shaven. And, your pores are open, so I put the lotion on. I basically take an edible, and then I smoke one. I literally...
How you didn't see God...
Oh, no, we were having a full conversation. Let me tell you something. It got to the point I was like, Jesus, if I survive this, I might go to church. I was begging. So
Bro.
I get in the car, and I'm driving, and literally right after I get to the light on 88th, I'm like, I got to pull over. I'm done. Like, it was bad. I did this like at 12 in the afternoon, and then we pick up like my boys' homegirls and shit, and then she's messing up my head because she's from Utah, like straight up white girl, doesn't know anything like about urban living, nothing. And she's like, "Can I ask you a question?" This is how she talks. She's like, "Yeah, I just want to ask you." I'm like, "What's up?" She's like, "Why do you get to call him nigga and I don't get to say it?" So I'm like, do you go to white people saying, "What up, cracker"? No, you don't, okay? That's just how it is. Like, she was green as hell. And because they're from Utah, they get to Miami and they think it's, oh, my God, this is so cool and so crazy. And I'm like, I just want to go to home right now. Like, I'm high, bro. Like, I'm high.
Oh, my God.
So at this time, we get something to eat. It goes away. As soon as I get out the car, it comes back. Like, it's coming at waves at this point. And,
oh my God, I hate
that.
that.
Like, the music never sounded so clear in my life. Like, it just sounded like, whoa. Hours start going by. I'm still high. We go to Wynwood. Now it's like midnight. From 12 in the afternoon to midnight. And I'm like, I'm still high, bro. Like, this is not good. Am I going to be stuck like this?
How annoying.
Like, I thought I was going to be stuck like this. So finally... It's like fucking 3 in the morning. I'm still high. So I'm like, yo, I got to go to the hospital. Like, this is bad.
Did you actually go to the hospital?
I was, almost like a heartbeat. I couldn't even feel my heartbeat. I could feel myself breathing. And I'm asking myself, how do I breathe?
Can you? I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed, you guys, being in the emergency room talking to the nurse. And I'd be like, so what brings you in here today? And I'm like,
I'm high.
I'm so high right now. I'm so sorry. Like panicking. And she's just there like, Dave, we got another one.
I had to work. Mind you, this is when I was I must have been like 20 something, like 23, 24. So I get to the crib, 3 in the morning. I take a shower. I feel great. I stayed in that shower because every time I turned off the water, I felt it hit me again. And I'm like, fuck.
The water's penetrating the demons.
Yeah, man. And I'm like, fuck. So finally I get to my bed. And the comforter, like your senses is all over the place. So the comforter felt so good. I have to be at work in the morning. And I'm like, yo, I can't sleep because my mind is just racing, but I'm high. So next thing you know, before I know it, by the time I catch a little bit of sleep, it's already time for me to get ready for work. So I'm like, yo, I can't call out. Like, what am I going to do? So I said,
what do you mean you can't call out?
I'm paranoid at this point because I'm thinking the worst of the worst.
Right.
So I'm like, I have to go to work. So I'm high as hell. I get in my car. I'm driving. And I'm already thinking like, yo, I got to go to the emergency room. I have to go to the emergency room. I get to the work parking lot. It leaves. It fucking leaves. Like, that's the weird thing about it. It just left right when I got to work. Here's where it gets crazy. So as I'm sober, I go back home. I'm like, yo, let me see how strong this shit is. The topical lotion, 1,000 milligrams. The chocolates, 1,000 milligrams. I ate half the chocolate, put a whole bunch of fucking lotion while my pores were open, and I smoked the full L. Never again. Ever again.
It's kind of that much highness. I don't know how you would call it.
It's not even high.
It just ruins you.
It damages you in a way that you will never feel the same. Like, yo, I was scared of marijuana at that point. Like, I don't want to touch it.
I'm good.
Get it away from me. I don't like it.
Bro, I'm good with just a few puffs. That'll get me. That's like a sweet spot. I'm enjoying music. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. I'm enjoying food. It's like, once you've like overstepped your boundaries of
Well, I don't like not being in control. Like, I be thinking of the worst shit. I'm like, damn, I'm high right now. Watch there be like a shooting or something or like some natural disaster. What the hell am I going to do? Like,
bro,
what about if Jesus comes back? Like, yo, how do I explain myself? Like, yo, my mind goes, I can't.
Yo.
And even then, like, I have to be careful who I choose to, smoke with because some people can mess your high up big time.
Yes.
Big time.
Can I just give a really big apology to some of the friends that I had back when I was like 16 and we like smoked for the first time and I got high for the first time and I knew I was ruining it for them.
Wait, were
because
you
I wouldn't stop talking. Yeah, I was very giggly and I wouldn't stop talking. Teenagers.
I mean, shit. But my week has been hell of interesting. So as you guys know, I started my position and I'm loving it, man. Like, I'm really loving it to the point I'm learning so much and it's like a new frequency.
Dude, I'm so happy for you.
Like, thank you. Like anywhere I go, I start looking at appliances now and I'm just like, okay, that's that model. That's how that comes apart. Like, it's like I want there to be problems with these machines so I can identify and fix them myself. Like, I'm wired.
Where were you when Ray's fucking washing machine broke? Like,
working on cars.
Oh man, your machine couldn't break any later.
I'm gonna tell you guys like this: stay away from Samsung. Hands down.
I've been getting a lot of that.
Stay away from Samsung. That is by far most of my calls are Samsung. Just stay away from them, man. Like, it's not that they're bad. They're not built the same anymore. Like, oh my God. We're talking about units that are like maybe 20 days old and they're giving problems.
Dude, no way.
Like, the best brand, like me, I like LG. You know what I'm saying? But like some of the best brands is Bosch, GE, Electrolux, Frigidaire. Those would be like the top. And then you have LG, and then under LG would be like Whirlpool or Maytag. And Samsung's a 0, straight up. But with this whole week, it's definitely different because now I'm going into places like different houses, and let me tell you, it's motivating. I've been in some cribs that are worth in the double digits of millions, and you get to see how people live. Everybody has a nanny. That's one thing I noticed. Like, everybody has a nanny, but it's dope because it's a different field. It's a different experience, and it honestly motivates you to want to get your shit together. I want my crib to be nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so excited when you get your crib.
Right?
I'm gonna be there decorating and shit.
Okay, just don't make it look too crazy. But with that being said, let's get into our first topic, yo.
Can we do the Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
We Nate got a treat for y'all, yo. This Am I the Asshole Reddit story, so get ready for it. It gonna be something else. Let's see.
So I had two. I was like, which one should I read? But I'm gonna do the last one that I found because this one seems to be a little more interesting. Okay, so I, female 22, found a thrusting and vibrating anal vibrator in my boyfriend's male 29 apartment.
Hold on.
Should I say something about this?
Wait. Start over again. I don't say that again. I'm sorry.
I, female 22, found
20.
a thrusting and vibrating anal vibrator in my boyfriend's apartment, male 29.
Ooh. She's 21.
She's 22.
22, and he's 29.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I am a 22-year-old female, and my boyfriend is 29 years old. We have been dating for 6 months, going strong. We think we're meant for each other, and we love each other very much. I'm at my boyfriend's apartment studying for college, and I was being nosy. I found a thrusting and vibrating anal vibrator manual, and then I get to searching other places, and I eventually found it. It's something he would put in his butt and with a cock ring attached. I'm a traditional Southern woman. All I could think was, what is this? Is he gay? I get that he's not gay, but something in the tush, I feel like a mother who just caught their teenager doing something embarrassing. Should I act like I didn't see it? Maybe he does not use it anymore and hasn't in a long time since we've both been getting closer to God. When I bring up these things, he says that I am chaining him to his...
Wow. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
That's as close as
Getting closer to God. Wow, okay. All right. Oof.
When I bring up these things, he says that I'm chaining him to his past. It's in his apartment, and I don't really feel comfortable with this. I don't want to embarrass him, though. Any advice? I also found a nude calendar signed from 2017 under his bed, and he must have went and got it signed. That was a long time ago, but it's under his bed. What does this say about my boyfriend? Should I say something about these things? Either way, I'm throwing the calendar away before he gets back.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay. That's a lot to digest. I'll let you take it because...
Okay, first things first. Literally the last thing that I read, because that's like the freshest thing on my mind. That's wild. Everything in this story is wild, but like, I don't know. I feel like I have to say that throwing away someone's like personal items, even if it's a nude calendar that was probably signed. Burglar. I don't know. At least for me, like, that's bold.
Yeah. Why did you? I'm sorry. Cock ring and an anal dildo. Turd burglar. That's what you call that, but continue. I'm sorry.
No worries. Bro.
How do you even approach that? Like, what do you say? How would you feel if it was your man? Like, you going through his closet? Yo, was it like a calendar of men? Was it a calendar of women?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like,
it says nude. I would assume it was like a nude, like women calendar, because if it was a male one, I think she would have been very explicit and about that.
I mean,
I will hold up in the air with like the nude calendar and the toys, and I'd be like,
explain.
So which one's your favorite?
Oh my God. Wow.
No,
wow.
I actually wouldn't know how to feel. Like, I don't know, like, what's worse? Like, just finding a nude calendar.
But let me ask you, why would that
the toys.
a nude? So if your man had a nude calendar, it would set you off.
It would set me off.
Why?
Because how are you this stupid to let me find it? That's why.
But why is it a big deal if they're not in his presence? It's a fucking magazine.
Okay, but like why
would you
does
get
he
offended
still
if
have...
your man watches porn?
I think this is something that we have talked about before. But I'll say it again. So if my man watches porn, I don't want to know about it. Like that's something that should stay in his thoughts. That
So
he shouldn't say it out loud because like
I mean, there's couples that watch it together. No,
because okay, the reasonable, logical side of me is like okay, like you know, he is his own person. He has his own choices. He can do whatever he wants. You know, as long as he's respectful to the relationship, he loves me. Yada yada. And this is a really big topic for everyone because you know a lot of men watch porn.
So do women.
Some women also do watch porn. But this is just one of those things where it's like, I can't just be like, oh, you know, babe, good for you. Like that's completely fine. No, I'm gonna be a little crazy girlfriend. I'll be like, why the fuck would you want to see other naked women like you have me? But it's one of those things where it's like I'm also a rational person, so it's like if you want to do it, then don't let me find out.
But you just said it. Why would you do it if you have me? A lot of dudes out here, I can't speak on y'all, but a lot of dudes out here, they get wifed up. They shorty ain't putting out. So in their head, it's like, yo, it's better to rub one out than cheat. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you.
And I'm not making. That's just what it is.
But like in like a girl's back, like in the back of her head, she's thinking like, damn, am I not good enough? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, you know, like there's just a bunch of these thoughts going on, and you know. I say, you know, okay, you love me, respectful, you still, you know, treat me like a princess on all these things. But every once in a while, you know, not that often, you indulge in the occasional porn website. Just don't let me find out about it. Because, like, I'm not going to get mad and be like, how dare you, we're breaking up. No, but it's something that I don't want to have. I have a lot of intrusive thoughts, and it's not something I want to think about on a Tuesday morning while I'm at work. And I'd be like,
your man spanking it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, truthfully speaking, would you say you find it disrespectful to the relationship in your case? Would you feel that it's disrespectful to your relationship?
No, up to a certain point.
Up to a certain point.
You know, like you said, like let's say like there's been such a big strain on our sexual relationship. You know, let's say we've just had so much like going on. We hadn't had like sex lately, and let's say he just decides to rub one out. Okay, like. We're human, you know, like. No,
I think. Cause
I understand.
I have talked to other women regarding that, and like what they break down is they don't like the fact that he's basically lusting over another woman, and that's where it bothers them.
I would bother me too. Okay. I'm using your example because I'm trying to use logic to like make myself feel better. Yeah. But at the end of the day. Insecurity would set in. I don't want to think about like he's definitely getting turned on by another woman. That's
like
not
if he has like big booty Latinas, you're flaquita. So it's like, what do you like? You
what
know?
The fuck? Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Which is why I say like you know, just don't let me find out. Because as long as you're not cheating in the streets and you don't have a fucking porn addiction, sex addiction, like where it's like eating away your brain cells, then that becomes a problem. Making you delusional.
I mean, in this case, am I the asshole? I think she's the asshole for throwing it away. Because number one, that's not her property.
Exactly.
And if you feel some type of way, you're an adult, you need to confront that person before making any decisions on something that does not belong to you. Right. Now, with that being said, the fact that it's a what is it, anal plug you said?
Yeah,
like a vibrating anal plug in a cock ring. Yeah. If it was me, right? And I was a woman and I was dealing with a partner, the first thing that come to my mind is, are you clean? Who are you fucking with? And like, how sexually active were you? Like, me, I don't want to catch no disease. You get what I'm saying?
No,
it's just like, if I went to a shorty's house and she had a fucking monstrous fucking, you know, play toy, I'm looking at her sideways like, well, damn, bro, it's like fucking more miles than the F-350. It's like throwing a hot dog down the hallway.
Oh, my God.
You know? But I don't think, like, as a man, if my partner were to watch pornography, I don't think it would bother me. as long as she understands that's fantasy and what we have is real life.
Of course.
Because what ends up happening is your expectations end up being unrealistic in a lot of cases of people who are addicted to watching pornography. And it does strain the relationship. In her case, I have to call her the asshole because she threw it out.
Right.
Two, you know, your
I think she's the
assumption-
asshole for the way that she handled the situation.
Yeah. And then for you to say get closer to God, that already tells us, okay, maybe you guys are very, you know, religious. Maybe, you know, you're definitely trying to rekindle something and build an establishment, you know, with the church. However, you also have to look at how that person's lifestyle was before you came into the picture.
Right,
You
of
know,
course.
so
Because he is a little
yeah.
significantly older than her. Not
Now-
a lot, but like, by like 2 years.
But he is older. He has more experience. She's 22. He's 29.
Right.
You know,
I think this is one of those things where it's like, you know, people who say, "Oh, I'm trying to get closer to God," and you know, they have to like change their lifestyle. And in her case, you know, she found his toys, and this isn't something that I guess she's used to, and it's just one of those like really tricky situations where, you know, these are your person's true colors showing.
But not only that, everyone has their kinks. Like I
Right.
personally don't see nothing wrong with it. It ain't my forte, to be honest, but I do understand to a certain degree. You get what I'm saying? And with that being said, with them, it's like what you're not willing to do, another person is. That's why there has to be a delicate balance of what you're okay with and what you're not with and what you're willing to do. And I know I'm gonna basically probably get hate for this, but talking to a lot of my homies out there, if number one, a lot of shorties weaponize their cooch. You know what I'm saying? They hold it as collateral. That's a big problem right there. And most men, again, don't want to deal with that headache. So, mind you, the first thing they ever started with was with Manuela. You know what I'm saying? They'll be there when she's gone. They'll be there when she's in the picture. If you ask a lot of dudes, what do they do when their wife leaves the house and takes the kids? First thing they do, they usually rub one out. That's real talk. And with that, you know, to me, I don't think it's a problem. I think it needs to be talked about because you can't assume. You're going to assume the worst because this is something that you're not comfortable with. So you're already thinking like extreme naturally. And I think that's where she's fucking up. Because it could be like, you know, there was a point in time in his life that he was into that shit.
Right.
And if it makes you uncomfortable, you have to ask yourself, why does it make you uncomfortable? Because that's your problem, not his. And that's where you have to dissect that shit carefully. And again, not to get heat, talking to my homies, if women out here in relationships were to do more kinky shit, your relationship would last longer. Straight up. Your relationship will be more sustainable. I'm not telling you to go into whips and chains, excite me type shit. But if you were, if a lot of women were more open-minded with their sexuality to please their partners, and this goes both ways,
Right.
the relationship would be healthier.
I believe that.
That's where, you know, it's just a sensitive breakdown because I think when it comes to women, you guys are already in competition with each other. And insecurity is a big factor when it comes to women, especially as they get older. So it's like, damn, like, does he like me? Does he really feel me? These are the questions that come into mind. Even like when a dude likes a girl's Instagram picture. Speaking of that, to go on a small tangent, how do you feel about, you know, your man if he were to like other girls' pictures? Would you find that disrespectful?
Oh, I'm killing him.
So you have a problem if he was to go online on Instagram and you got shorties with their ass out, fat titties, and he likes those photos?
So
Because you know what I'm gonna.
wait, hold on. Okay, let me know.
I'm gonna
Let me
hit
be
you with
honest.
a rebuttal.
Let me be honest. So it doesn't bother me that he likes pictures of girls, because it also depends on like what the content is. You know, like he has friends that are girls. You know, like that's fine. You know, I follow some of the same people he follows in terms of like women, so I'll see it there. That doesn't bother me. What would kind of, I guess, bother me is if I see a picture of, let's say, like a hot girl and she has really big tits. Like naturally she just has big boobs and most of her boobs take up the picture and it's very like sexy provocative and he likes it. I'm gonna be like, I'd be a little disgusted because it's like if you were seeing these like in private, let's say like on like a porn site or whatever, like okay. And this goes back to I don't want to see it. I don't want, and especially on a public platform like Instagram where everyone else can see like the type of shit that you're liking, or like a girl that's like half naked, you know, like she's, you know, trying to promote like sexy stuff or whatever, or not even like she's just, you know, like all out there and he likes that photo. I don't know, like it kind of
So the
rubs me the
question
wrong
would-
way.
So the question
But
is,
it has
if,
to be-
if you're gonna feel that way, are you willing to be his porn star then?
Yeah.
Because that's the
all
only
men
way
will
that.
be.
Okay, but when I say are you willing to be his porn star, are you willing to do the things that he's into?
Yes, but
know
no,
what I'm
but
saying?
I'm not saying that this happens. I'm giving you guys like a what if scenario because, you know,
No,
he doesn't do that. So, but I'm just saying it would bother me if it was an extreme sexy photo. If it was a plain photo or like, you know, it really, guys,
You
it
would
really
get
depends on the
offended
context.
if it was provocative and very promiscuous type setting.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
now-
let's say like if it's a friend of his and she's at the beach with like her friends, that
Okay.
doesn't bother me because it's a playful photo. Like, oh my god, look, I'm having a great time.
But here's where I have to hit you with why I feel like that's a double standard, because don't you lust over Bad Bunny?
Yes and no.
But yes, okay, not as extreme as some of these other people, but you definitely look at other men on, because a lot of shorties, if I go on your Instagram right now, I'm pretty sure there's plenty artists that are males that you look and you like their photos. So it's pretty much the same thing. It may not be as extreme, but it's still
Right.
amongst the same setting. So
I will
wouldn't that be
admit-
kind of hypocritical?
I will admit that there is a double standard.
Okay.
I know that it does suck because now correct me if I'm wrong or like try to teach me, is there a way for men to be as provocative as a woman can? Because like if you think about a woman being provocative, you know, you think, okay, she's showing a little bit of side boob,
Yeah.
you know, sexy but classy, you know, depending on what she's wearing. Or like, let's say she wants to go for a little more, like less classy, more sexy.
Well,
Like maybe she'll show less of her face, more of her cleavage, maybe her ass. You know, these are normal things that we think of when we think of a sexy, provocative woman. But when we think of like a man, some women can find a man sexy if he's wearing like a long sleeve shirt and his muscles are showing through his shirt. It's different because
You
a
see-
man
you see
could
how
be.
you said it's different though?
I know it does suck.
But-
I agree that there is a double standard, but like this is just how like some women think. You
No,
know,
I
because
get
a
what you're
guy
saying.
could be, let's say, sexy, but
Yeah.
with all of his clothes on.
Like he doesn't have to. Well, I get what you're saying, but here's where the big difference is, and I think I speak for a lot of men when I say this. We're looking at it from a physical stimulation point, and when women look at men, it's more of a physical and more
Emotional.
mental.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And to
I
me,
get
that's
it.
more intimate than a dude just liking a photo.
I get you.
You know, and I think that's where it cancels itself out, because women get stimulated not only physically but more mentally than,
That is very important.
you know,
yes.
and because of that, it kind of would irritate a man more if I see you liking another dude's picture. He don't have to have his shirt off, but mentally he has you wrapped up in a way
Right.
that makes me uncomfortable type shit. I'm not saying that's always the case.
No, yeah,
but
but it's
that seems
important
to
that we
be-
talk about it because
Yeah.
usually, you know, I mean, men already don't do an amazing job at communicating, like, you know, how they're feeling. So for the longest time,
Some men.
some men, sorry, because that actually never occurred to me.
Yeah.
Because what was the big deal, at least for me growing up, was, oh my God, he liked this other girl's picture on Instagram. Because that was all that was like surrounded by me, like that was the norm. It had never occurred to any of us girls that, oh, maybe he doesn't like it when I like this other guy's photos.
Well, I always say, and you know, I said it before on the show, and I told you guys, women need to feel wanted, men need to be loved. And I think that's where the conflict comes in, because you want all that undivided attention for yourself. And when you see that as being displayed for somebody who doesn't even appear in his life, that he has no relationship, a total stranger, I could see how that would be considered disrespectful, because it's like, damn, yo, I'm supposed to get your undivided attention and you're lusting after somebody who doesn't even exist technically in your life. So I can understand that. It's definitely a double-edged sword knife, you know, like it's fucked up on both ends. But I still stand where I say, you know, if women were to be more open-minded, I don't think they would have to deal with that factor because, again, just like women have fantasies, so do men.
Oh, yeah.
But in today's society, it's completely appropriate for a woman to express what her sexual desires are. But the moment us men do that, that's what we get labeled as a pig, a chauvinist. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're basically castrated for that.
Right.
So what do you think needs to change on that?
So, I mean, I can't really speak for everyone, you know, at least for myself. You know, I've always encouraged my boyfriend to be like, hey, like, if there's anything new you want to try, please let me know. Because
put it in your butt.
Because, you know, I'll be damned if, you know, you're trying to look on the internet for that kind of stuff. Maybe you're trying to do research, okay, but let me know. Or you're looking for someone else for that. Like, listen, I'd kill you.
Porn videos were training camp, yo. You know, some dudes, that's how they learn to get it, you know. You learn off of that shit. You see it, you duplicate it, and you try to make it happen. Now, listen, my thing is, especially at my age, when it comes to like exotic topics and videos and whatnot, it's not the same anymore. It seems like so unrealistic now that it's almost, at least to me, is nauseating because it's fake as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody getting stuck in the washing machine type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
But then again, I know a lot of shorties out here like role playing. You know what I'm saying? And because they like role playing, where does that come from? That comes from pornography.
Yeah, but like use your imagination, you guys. Like, don't use like porn scenes.
No, but where does it generate from? It literally generates from those. I mean, the plumber, the handyman, you know, all this shit was put in the movies, and you want to experience that, so you role play for it.
Right.
So I think it's safe to say, to a certain degree, we all basically copy what we see. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like you said, there has to be a level of understanding and respectfulness that goes down, because you could really fuck up your relationship like that. Because like you said, if some people take it to the third degree and they think that's how it's supposed to be and they're hooked on it, like, imagine, I think where it gets dangerous is where you have your shorty, she's ready to get down, but you rather watch porn, or you have to get down to porn in order to sleep with your girl. Like,
I'd be
that
livid.
Shit is unhealthy, and at that point I think you got some psychological issues, because there ain't nothing beating organic, if you know what I mean. Straight the fuck up.
And like when you're in love with a person, it just hits different.
Yeah, it's intimacy is not just having sex, it's being connected, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's where, especially in hookup culture, shit is so fucked up, because you're not even being intimate, you're literally just whoring yourself out. That's why I don't agree with hookup culture, in my opinion. That's just my take on it.
So let me ask you a question. Has there ever been a time in your life where you had like a girlfriend and she wanted to try some like role play stuff that you were like,
Yeah. That's why I say what you're not willing to do, another person is. So you just got to make sure, if you're going to do it, that you're truly doing it because you want to, not because you have to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where that balance comes in. Like, I generally want to please my girl at the time, so I'm okay doing those type of things. But if it goes against what I stand for, no, I don't give a fuck. Like, hell's no. You ain't catching me with that shit. We ain't doing no whips and chains. You ain't be no dominatrix. Like, nah.
So besides the dominatrix and whips and chains, is there anything else that is a no-go for you that you're like, nah, I'm not doing this?
Hell yeah. Like, well, as you know, I don't eat the booty like groceries. It ain't happening. I don't give a shit. You could call me, oh, you missing out. I guess I am. Straight up. I don't have a curiosity to it. I don't care. You know, some dudes like their girls basically tossing their side. That ain't happening. Like, no, like, I'm not okay with that. And you also have to be okay with the fact that you're not okay with that, because if your partner wants that, then that's not your person. And I think that's where we fuck ourselves up in relationships, because we force ourselves to do things that we don't want because we're scared of losing the person. But if that's your person, it would never come to that. That's just my opinion.
I have a question in regards to the story. So they had mentioned, you know, that they were finding God together. So I mean, I went to church as a kid, but I've never been one to read the entire Bible.
Honestly,
you know,
so
whenever people put up arguments like, oh, because the Bible says this and the Bible says that, and they start claiming, referencing lines from the Bible, what are they called? Verses. And, you know, oh, like they'll say this or they'll say that. in regards to, oh no, because your body's like, you know,
A temple.
is a temple and all that stuff.
But-
And so like, you know, because I know you believe in God and I believe in God, you know, but
if I'm gonna be completely honest, I think that whole argument's irrelevant when you try to bring God in it, because the truth is what you do in your home is what you do with your partner.
right.
Because none of us are doing it right. You know what I'm saying? We all have sex out of wedlock. You know, none of us are virgins. So let's stop the cap on that one. You know what I'm saying? But the way I feel, I see when she said, oh, we're trying to get closer to God, I feel like you're using that as a crutch, as an excuse to not understand and honestly work with that person. And the reason why I say that is that's natural human behavior,
Right.
instinctual to be promiscuous and to lay with each other.
Right.
Now, when it comes to freakiness, that's like saying, well, I can't, my girl likes to get smacked on the ass. Imagine how stupid I'm going to look and be like, well, according to the Bible, that's wrong of me. You know what I'm saying? I think it's only wrong when it's displayed for people to see. But what you do in the confinements of your own home with your partner is, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, you know, that's blessed already because that's your person. That is your partner. That's who you're sacred to and loyal to. So it doesn't matter. You're not, as long as you're not doing anything shameful in the sense like you're disrespecting the person, degrading the person, like you're taking it to the extreme where you could fuck them up mentally. You can be kinky all you want. That's something that both parties agree on. That's a bond. And that bond is only for you two. Everyone else has no business nor say in that. And I think that's what people need to understand, because when you say, oh, but you know, we're trying to get closer to God. I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with getting closer to God? Because you're fornicating, you're making love to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would see that applies if you're doing this with strangers and shit. Then it's like, how do you expect to get closer to God when you're basically whoring yourself out? But you have a partner. You know what I'm saying?
Is it weird that I kind of feel what's the
Correct.
right word?
I
that
may
I'm
not
looking
be
for?
correct on that. It's just
No,
my opinion.
right, of course. But sometimes I feel like when I get into a discussion with someone who's religious and they'll start, you know, in their argument, start saying stuff like, oh, you know, because you can't like do these certain things because it says it in the Bible, and, you know, as a woman or man or person of God, like I'm, you know, I go to this way, whatever. I respect people's choices, you know, their values. Like, it's important for me that it's important to them. You know what I mean? But when they start making me feel bad about some of the decisions I make, then I'm just like left like what's right, what's wrong, I don't understand. Especially at a younger age, I felt more of this. I feel less of it now.
But
But when I was definitely younger, I definitely felt this way where it's like, I
feel
don't
like
know.
that's the crutch I'm talking about, because guess what, man? And this goes to all people who want to be religious. You can't pick and choose what you want to follow. You either do it all or you don't do it at all. And that's where you find people getting looked at crazy, because that makes them so hypocritical. It's like, okay, you're choosing the parts to follow that benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's in a relationship or in life, and that needs to stop.
Right.
Either you follow it the whole way or you don't do it at all.
You know, yeah.
You know,
I'm
and-
not really into like, you know, judging other people's decisions or the way that they choose to live their lives. Like I said, it makes me happy, and I respect that other people have their choices, their values, and the way that they live their life. Like I love that people have that, you know, because some people don't. And I always say the only one who knows your truest intentions is God.
True.
Like,
Not even your partner.
which is why I don't stress about arguing with some people. I'm just like, if they want to have the last word, okay, cool. You know, I'm an emotional person, so sometimes I'll feel some type of way. But, like, I don't hold a grudge, because your
Understandable.
battle is between you, God. Like,
You're not here to judge, you're here to love.
Exactly.
That's literally what it comes down to. And I respect that, man. But, so final thoughts before we get into the next topic.
this is crazy. I mean, I bet if you guys are wondering what the other story was, it was literally in the same realm of
Read
the
it
first
after.
one.
We'll do another
The title says, my boyfriend, 23 male, wants me, 23 female, to peg him. And I'm like,
Oh, we got to talk about that one.
it's pretty short. So it says, I am 23 female, virgin, and he is 23 male, also virgin. We've been together for a few months now, and we've never had sex. Yeah, we opened up about it. He brought it up, anal play, into the discussion. He told me he would like me to touch him there and even penetrate him using a dildo. I was shocked at first because I've never heard of such a thing. But then I researched it and I found that it's common. However, I can't imagine myself doing it. I find it abnormal and weird. However, I love him and I really want to be with him. I don't know if this will work out or not. I feel lost and anxious all the time. Should I try it? Will it work if our sexual needs weren't fulfilled? Question mark. Guru Jason, what do you have to say about this?
Listen,
the youngsters need help and advice. What do you have to say to them?
When it comes to reference to this, right? What I would say to this young girl, or say to anyone viewing this that happens to be in this crazy dilemma, if you're not comfortable with something, you don't ever do it. And the reason why I say you don't, because you can't come back from that. When you're getting tested on your morals and what makes you whole,
right,
you don't sacrifice that for just anybody. You know what I'm saying? And if this dude wants to get pegged, that's his kink, you're an adult. Mm-hmm. But if it's truly something you're not okay with,
yeah,
boundaries.
Respect that.
And if that person can't respect that, right away, that's not your person. Now, mind you.
And don't feel pressured into being like, fine, I'll do it, don't break up with me. No, because then
the love's not real.
Right.
You know, mind you, if dude wants to get paid, this is the crazy thing. Like, to me, you're wilding, bro. You're wilding out. Like, that ain't some shit that gets dragged across the floor that you wake up one day like, hey, I wonder what it likes to get poked. You know, like, nah, it ain't happening, bro. That's not a
thought you guys have?
No way. Shit, nah, my black ass.
You wake up one day and you're like, I wonder what it feels like to be pegged.
My ass is the tightest part of my body. I ain't sacrificing that for nobody. You know what I'm saying? That ain't my thing. Just like I don't eat ass. I don't care. I don't, because that's where I plant my feet on the ground. I'm like, yo, I ain't budging. I don't give a how bad you are. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how much money you have. I'm not willing to sacrifice my mental well-being for something I'm not cool with. Now, mind you, a lot of times, shorties, here's the thing. I know a lot of girls who won't feel comfortable with that because men, they are attracted to men in their masculinity. And being that puts him in a vulnerable position, and that could be a major turnoff to a woman. You know what I'm saying? You want your man to be a man. Not, you know, you ain't trying to fucking check for no prostate over here. You know what I'm saying? Imagine, like, no, like, hell's no. Like, that's just my personal opinion. Like, no. If you're not comfortable with it, there's no shame in saying, yo, I'm not down for this. You're the gatekeeper to your peace. Don't let anybody take that from you. And unfortunately, when it comes to certain shit like that, you have to be willing to walk away to keep your sanity. Because there's plenty times, I know everyone in this room has done one thing, maybe not sexual, but has made a choice they truly didn't want to do, and it stuck with them. You get what I'm saying? Whether it was taking that extra shot, going to a certain party. Like, we all have done things that we weren't comfortable with, and we know how it made us feel. And that's where you have to educate yourself, like, you know what? I'm not going to put myself through that again. Especially when it comes to something that deep, because it's intimacy. Mm-hmm. You know, this is where two people are at their most vulnerable. Now, I would say I would have questions for my partner. You know what I'm saying? If I was her, I'm like, yo, you might want to talk to dude and see, like, if he's comfortable with his sexuality. Because if both of you guys are virgins, that's not some shit you think up. And that's where you have to be careful, because for all we know, he's probably hooked up to pornography, and now he wants to try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it consumed him. Curiosity killed the cat. And that's where dudes have lost their ways. That's what makes shit so unrealistic. Because look at the whole dating scene. You would think the way that most of these misogynistic men think is the same behavior and mindset that you would see in these porn videos. You know, be the macho head man and be aggressive and date. Like, no, that's not cool, bro. That's not how this works. That's not real life. You know, think about it. You have a shorty who's fucking mad kinky. the first thing that I'm gonna think as a man, if I got with a chick and she ends up being like a whole episode of crazy freakiness, the first thing in my head is like, yo, who else have you done this with? You know what I'm saying? Where's the limitation? I can't be your first. You know, like who are you really? That's
Right.
where it comes down to, like, who the fuck are you? Because you put on this image that you're this person. Now behind closed doors, you're on some whips and chains shit. I'm not cool with that. I'm cool with the kinks to a certain degree, but also that shit came natural for me. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't influenced by anything or anyone. And that's where a lot of shit is fucked up, especially in your generation when it comes to relationship. There's a lot of outside influences that tear down your relationship. What's that movie with Tyler Perry? Temptation, right? Mm-hmm. Here this girl has her man, small town, they get married, they move to the city. She ends up basically meeting some high baller at her job that, you know, they take care of, like they're like a... what do you call those people? Like not secretary, but like they just
Executive assistants or
she's an assistant. And mind you, she has her man at home. They're married. They're the traditional type. She meets this dude who has millions. He's going to the club. He's living a lifestyle that she's never even thought of. And she gets consumed by that because her curiosity gets the best of her. And within that same habit, what was perfectly fine for her, what worked for her, she left that because her curiosity got the best of her. She ends up catching AIDS. She ends up getting beat down. She gets put into a world she had no business getting involved to.
Oh, wow.
And the truth is, to break it down to a regular level, that happens on an everyday basis in relationships, if you think about it. You know, that's where the narcissistic people live. They dwell there because they take you out your comfort and out your element, and they put you in a situation where you're so deep in, you're either embarrassed to ask for help or embarrassed to come out, that you feel trapped. And that works with both male and females, just not women. So in the movie, when she goes to that extent, she ruins her life. And the way she ruined her life was she didn't appreciate what was working. And that's where that whole saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
You know, there's always going to be a girl that looks better than you, who's, you know, more fit, has bigger breasts, more ass. She's going to blow you out the water. But that doesn't matter if you have your person. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. There's always going to be a dude who has more money than me, who has more of a solid career. But I don't let that affect me because I know my worth and where I stand. And you have to be confident in that. Because lack of confidence will basically open the door for a world of problems. Straight the fuck up. That's
100%.
That's my opinion.
100%. Because, you know, like, when you told me, oh, there's always going to be, you know, a woman who's going to be hotter, beautiful than you. Mm-hmm. And
that's part of life.
It's part of life, and it's okay. And honestly, it's because of my confidence that I don't care. Like, and everyone should.
Are you gonna have insecurities? Of course, that's human. That's human nature.
Yeah.
But this is where I feel like it's important for your partner to basically take away those voids and give you the proof you need to recognize that that person is for you. And I think that's where shit gets fucked up, where people are in relationships, but they don't have the confidence that they wish they had because that communication's not there, you know? And granted, shit, I could tell you, and here's where people have to be real with yourself. You're never going to be your girl's first choice. You're not. That's where that whole thing, oh, you're settling. Yeah, we all settle at some point in life. Settling is not a bad thing. Settling is you realizing that you are happy where you're at. Settling doesn't mean you're taking a loss. Somewhere down the line in society, we thought to ourselves that settling means you're taking an L. No, settling is you being comfortable and happy with what you got. You know what I'm saying? The grass is not greener on the other side. And unfortunately, when people learn that lesson, it's usually too late. I tell you guys all the time, value what you got, value what you have. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm never going to be the man of this girl's, you know, the man of her dreams. But I can get to 80%. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm never going to be 100% of the man she wants. That's unrealistic. Right. But that's where, when the love is true, none of that shit factors. And that's why I try to teach my homies and whatnot, you'll have a shorty. She's going to get old. She's going to get wrinkles. But guess what? Souls do not age. That's why you fall in love with the soul. The flesh is the flesh. The flesh basically goes along with time, but that soul is immortal. That soul is timeless. It does not age. And when you fall for someone's soul, nothing on the outside matters.
Right.
That's
I agree.
That's just my honest opinion, you know? So final thoughts, love.
This crazy. Honestly, people need some experiences, and this is not me saying, oh, go rabbit and whole round and just lose all your senses. No, like, I think it's human nature to be curious.
Yeah.
And to like want to know stuff, but also heed everyone's advice from either your friends or that you watch on TV, the internet. Everyone shares their stories on the internet nowadays. So like I trust in people when they tell stories of, oh my God, like I was in this either abusive relationship or these red flags or this and that. Because when you are in a conscious state of mind and like you're not biased, you can understand, okay, like what this person did is messed up. And God forbid you ever go through that, when you're in an emotional state with this person and you're having an argument, sometimes, like that's why I always say I never want to resolve issues when I'm like upset or sad or just feeling, highly emotional, because I'm not going to be at my 100% to make the best decisions. So.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It brings me into our next topic, right? So what I'm noticing, and maybe you guys can figure it out, like, why do people mess with each other that don't like each other? Like, I never really understood that shit. Like, I see so many times that a person will mess with someone and they're not even really attracted, or in some cases attracted to them at all. Like, why waste that person's time?
Like, they're just like physically getting it together?
Nah,
or
like I'm talking about like, I'm not gonna say name. I know people in full relationships with people they don't like. Like, they would never. They're just doing it because it's convenient to them. Like, how do you look yourself in the mirror? I think that's one of the most fucked up things, is where when you're with somebody and that's not what you want.
I feel like it just becomes that person's new normal. Like they probably lack something in their head to convince them that that's not the right thing, to build the courage to say, hey, I don't think we're happy or right for each other. I think we should, go our separate ways respectfully.
I call it the Titanic syndrome.
Really?
Yeah, because look at Rose. She had the multi-million-dollar dude, but she didn't even want that. You know what I'm saying? And she wanted Jack, the homeless bum. It is what it is, right? But I feel like, why? Like, why is it so hard to keep it real with yourself? Like, why drag somebody down? Because what ends up happening in those cases is like, you'll be with somebody and you're not fully attracted to them, but they're in love with you, and now you created something that ultimately is going to fail because damn well you don't want it. Why do that?
I think it has to do with choose the devil you know and not the devil you don't. Or something along those lines, where it's like they know the outcome with settling and staying with this person.
Yeah.
But
that's cowardly, man.
In comparison to choosing the different route where they don't know what's going to happen, it could be worse. So
why play it safe? Why? That's not, at least in my opinion, that's not living life.
No, yeah.
When you play it safe, you're not living life, because you're always going to ask yourself, what if? And I think it sucks because that's how you create the society we're in now. That's how people are so fucked up in the head now, because they were with somebody for years and it's like, oh, that person never really gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Used them the whole time. Why is it, that whole saying, hurt people hurt people? Like, that's that bullshit, bro. Like, stop. And I see that a lot in my age bracket. That happens a lot. Like, I know plenty shorties, like, are with a dude because they're able to provide, but they don't love him. And I find that shit maddening. Like, I get, not everyone's like that, but most cases not. We see it all the time. And it's completely disrespectful. I just don't understand how one person could be with someone and not really want to be with them. Like, that's fucking wild to me. And sometimes it's not about the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear shorty say all the time, like, oh, I'm with him because he's safe. What the fuck does that mean? That means
They're
you're
choosing
not,
the devil they know and not the devil they don't.
That's cowardly, man. Like
Right.
that shit fucks me up. What do you think about women who do that?
Honestly, this whole
Have you
that
ever
just
done
sounds
that?
very complicated. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Because I used to be when I was a lot younger, between like my late teen years and my early 20 adulthood. I was in a long-term relationship, and there was a point where me and him were both equally felt like we kept coming back to each other because it was what we knew, and especially for a lot of younger
Was
people.
it fear?
I don't think it had anything to do with like being scared or like fear emotion. I think it was, when you're so young, teenagers, and then you're 18, you're going into your young adulthood, you're figuring yourself out. Your brain is still developing. It doesn't finish developing until you're like your mid-20s or something. Your mind is completely shaping. I think I now with thinking back on, I don't know how a lot of younger adults and younger people can do such serious relationships, because if you think about it, every young person is different. Let's say you're in college. You like you said, people are curious. Oh my God, the tailgating and the parties and all that stuff. But then there are people who take college more serious and the studying. Maybe
No, but I
who
understand
don't
that.
go. They're working. And you as a young adult, in your 20s, you're figuring yourself out. Some people want love, and some people just want to party. Some people don't want anything
Well,
serious.
let me break it down in this case, right? Like, I know shorties who have kids, and the only reason they're with that guy is not because they like him, it's just because it's beneficial to them. Like, I think that's fucked up.
A lot of it also has to do with culture, depending on where you're from, because if you see how much your parents struggled, sometimes the mother will pass on to her daughter you either get
Pass
a
down
good
the
ass
trauma?
Education. Yes, it comes down to drama. Either you get a good ass education and you fend for yourself, or you find a man who can take care of you. In some households, you can't
Okay.
afford to have love and wealth.
I disagree, because I feel like if you really work towards it, you'll accomplish it.
Right. But it just depends on the household.
True. I would say this to you, right? So you have shorties who have kids and they want to find a man to take care of them. Ultimately, right? I'll ask you right now, do you want your man to take care of you?
Yes.
Okay, that there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You do, right?
I mean, yeah.
I could say 99% of women want their man to be able to take care of them. Why not respect that, though?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
If you know you want your man to take care of you, why put up the front and make it hard on them to do that? Like, why the resistance? You know what I'm saying? And the way I look at it, it's like, women want a man who's going to lead and take care of them, but they're not willing to basically play their part and be submissive to the idea. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
That's where I make that make sense
So,
to me, because if you
okay.
want me to take care of you, say I have a girl, she wants me to take care of her, I'm cool with that, but respect me.
Right.
Why is it so hard to respect the man?
I think I
And
know where the
vice
pushback
versa
is.
on vice versa, because some men have it the other way around.
So I think I know where some of the pushback may be. So we are going into an era where modern day relationships are considered equal. Both partners are working, contributing to the household. And in a lot of situations, there's a lot of women who are like, wow, why did we agree to be independent? Why did we agree to vote and to work? As memeful and funny that some of these women are saying, there may be a little bit of truth, because who doesn't like to be, we see stories of the sugar babies or actual couples who are traditional and one of the couple works, and sometimes it does work. I think in cases where women are like, oh, I do want you to take care of me, but obviously they didn't live in an era where
I feel like women say, "Oh, I want you to take care of me, but I still want to basically do what the fuck I want to do," and it doesn't work like that
because they don't know the blueprint. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So it's like, I mean, me either. None of us obviously lived in the era where the man works and the woman stays at home with the kids. And all we know is from stories passed down, from the movies, like we weren't there firsthand. And sometimes we saw the ugly side of it where, the man is demanding his beer and he wants everything done his way because it's his money and, all that stuff. And I think it's just a trauma response where women say they want their man to take care of them, but
they're not willing to be open-minded to basically play the position.
What's very important is being open-minded, great communication, making sure, because there was this, I saw this video on TikTok of this, it was a clip from like a radio news station. A woman called in and she asked about marriages and finances and all that stuff. And he was like, in his entire spiel, he was basically saying how, okay, once my wife and I got married, it was our money, not just her money and my money. And like, that's something that, as far as young adults, when we're figuring out how to pay our taxes, pay our insurances, get a job, go on interviews, like doing real adult stuff. And some of it goes getting married. What does that entail? Because all we see is our parents and like movies.
Well, our parents fucked us up because if you think about it, our parents is a generation that showed us there's a way out of commitment. It's called divorce, right? But one of the biggest bullshit I have ever seen, and I stand firm on this as I say this to you guys, is when I hear a lady say, "Oh, we got to go 50-50," right? I call complete bullshit. Like, you see it on TikTok, you see it on Instagram, "Oh, we should go 50-50 on, what we do." It's never 50-50 because here you want a man to go 50-50 when it comes to like, cooking or cleaning up the house. Okay. But are you going to go 50-50 when it comes to doing maintenance on the car? Are you going to go 50-50 when that man got to go up on that roof and clean out the gutters? Are you going to go 50-50 when it comes to the hardship of labor? Are you going to get underneath the fucking kitchen and fix the tools and hand them shit and go 50-50 on that? Why is it that modern women always want to hit that 50-50 shit, but it's only the 50-50 that's convenient to you, not all across the board?
And it needs to be talked about.
I feel like that's some fucking bullshit.
Because I'm guilty. I'm guilty of this. I had this discussion with my mom, and, my parents have a traditional relationship. And so, I'm like, oh my God, why doesn't he help out with this? And she was like, oh, well, he helps out with all of these other things. And I'm like, oh, you're absolutely right. And it never occurred to me that, like in our old backyard, we didn't have a lot of grass, but he would, pick the weeds and he would clean the pool and he would,
their traditional setup
and he would
works.
Change like do maintenance on our cars, making sure that the oil change is up to date and the tires are good and, doing like house maintenance stuff. Oh, something's wrong with the toilet. It's backed up. He's there to fix it. And, just taking care of all of those things, and and he really did contribute a lot. It's just,
where's the resentment though?
A lot of it, it's just like, it's not talked about, because men are so, they're not the gossipy kind. They do their things, they mind their business, and they go on about their day. It's very well known.
Not as complicated.
In a household, like if I move into a house, my first worries are, okay, the kitchen and the food, and something that I do know, maybe like washing the clothes in the machines and, decorating the rooms and all that stuff. What doesn't occur to me, okay, making sure that you clean out the vents for like the refrigerator, making sure the AC unit is good, if there's a backyard, the garage, all that stuff. Shit. Like the heavy load shit that occurs in a man's mind that would never occur in mine. And it's differences like those that escape your mind, that you just completely forget.
I hear what you're saying. I just feel like it's fucked, man, because like, even not to go on another tangent, like, yo, shorties who use emotions to wager their bullshit. Like, and this is not an attack on women because men do the same shit. It's like, the more that I see, like, how I tell you sometimes I gotta dissect and get away from social media because of the shit I see. It's very alarming, especially me being back on the market, right? I have dudes like, oh, naturally I like women who are older. But it's almost like running up the creek without a paddle in that case, because it's like you're not able to adapt anymore once you reach a certain age. And I feel like what ends up happening to a lot of these shorties, where it's like, yo, they've gotten so far in life, they're resentful because they're not where they want to be in life, and they want to make somebody else responsible for their own fucking lack and coming up short on shit, which is fucked up. Imagine how I would look as a man making you or trying to make you responsible for me fucking ending up short. Like that shit.
You're not taking accountability.
Exactly. And the accountability of today's world, man, is the kryptonite. Because I can't only say it's women, I could say it's men too. Like the lack of accountability is almost like a fucking disease. It's a cancer to society. If you make your bed, you lay in it. But now
that just doesn't occur to a lot of people.
Because like the mindset of modern women that I'm seeing is like, their mindset is, okay, say I give you the keys to a fucking Ferrari, right? You drive the Ferrari, you get a speeding ticket, and now you're mad at me saying that I should have to pay for the ticket just because I gave you the keys to the car. That is the mindset of modern women. And I find that shit fucking amazing and scary at the same time, that somebody could actually have that mindset to make somebody else responsible for their own shortcomings. Like, where the fuck do you go from that? And then let's talk about, that's older women, right? Let's talk about shorties with kids. Like, yo, I can meet shorty with a kid. The kids is never the fucking problem. But imagine how it's a turnoff when a man hears her talk shit about her baby daddy. Oh, he ain't shit, but he was good enough to come up in you and have a child with your ass. You gave this man the greatest gift that any woman can give a man, and you talk shit on that?
I think you should be careful who you talk shit about.
But
it's one thing to vent. I mean, I don't know. I've never really been in that situation. I just agree that you just have to be very careful who you spill your guts to.
Well, also, and imagine at 36, I get heat. Oh, why you go at the young girls? And honestly, it's more of like who can honestly vibe with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where a lot of women fail to understand. Most men would like to have a woman within their age, someone they can relate to. But also it comes down to the vibe of peace, someone who's not going to basically make them feel like they're under attack. And I really want to sit and talk about this because not just to talk about the problem, but try to find a fucking solution. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the nigga that burned you. You're not the girl who burned me. So why hold on to that and make people responsible for something they had no control over? At what point do you sit back and be like, yo, you know what? I fucked up. I don't see that. It's like, oh, that person's responsible. That person wasn't even in your life at that point. And what ends up happening is, there's a saying, if you ever want to know what it's like to be broken, help somebody else, that you find a woman to fix her, and you'll break yourself in the process. And it also works for women, because if you are a woman and you find a man and he's broken, you put him back together, you will basically break pieces off of yourself. That whole hurt people. But I think the only reason that hurt people because there's a lack of accountability on that shit. And the only way you can find true peace is to basically embrace and take ownership of what the fuck happened. It's nobody's fault but your own. Mm-hmm. We all get a shitty fucking sandwich. Take your bite and roll the fuck on, bro. It's just crazy. But, before we wrap up, final thoughts on that.
It's crazy because every time you ask me what my final thoughts are, my mind just goes to a blank. I'm just like, I don't know.
How do you mind get to a blank?
I already said all my thoughts.
All your thoughts.
All the words in my brain.
My final thoughts on it is simple as this, As we get older, guys, as life gets more complicated, take a minute, man. And honestly, take a breather and heal. Don't be closed-minded because you block your blessings like that. And take ownership. You know what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't your fault, you take ownership. You own the situation. Don't let the situation own you. Because as long as you let the situation own you, you're always going to be living in constant fucking negativity. You got to own that shit and rise above it. Failure makes the greatest foundation of success, right? A broken heart basically teaches you the right from wrong. but it also teaches you true value.
Dude, a broken heart really teaches you a lot. As painful as it is to have your heart broken. Oh my God.
I will say it like this. You
I
know
feel
what
like
the
it's
benefit of a
so
broken
important.
heart is?
What?
The satisfaction knowing that what you were doing in your part was real and nobody could take that away from you. So, as we close out, please tell them where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Instagram. My first name, Natalie, 2 I's, 2 E's, _01.
There you go, and you know it's your gearhead, Mr. Logic 142, yo. We out here, again, as you know, right now things are a little bit shaky, and the reason being your boy got a new position. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this podcast now and make it more approachable and, you know, convenient for you guys. We do apologize about the messed up schedule. We weren't on last week. It's on me.
It's been very cray.
We'll keep you guys updated on, you know, the Instagram page and let you know what the next move is. Definitely reach out to us. Let us know how you feeling. Let us know what you thinking. Stop touching me. Lou's just trying to get fresh and whatnot. He mad because my nipples are cut glass right now, but it's weird. It's kind of hot. It's kind of, I don't know. It's like men's menopause or something. I'm all over the place.
LOL.
But with that being said, yo, make sure if this is your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button, yo. And again, man, reach out to us. Let us know how you feel, yo. We're not here by ourselves. Teamwork makes the dream work, yo.
Yeah.
And as teamwork makes the dream work, yo, we're here for you, yo. We're basically representing for y'all. We represent the real. We don't walk on eggshells for nobody. So, without further ado, yo, let me just put it like this. As you guys know, this is one thing for sure, two things for certain.